game. We can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's going to swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow.
People like me.
I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
We're learning a lot about each other.
We got Homer, Matt Hamilton.
Yeah.
We have...
Pessimist, Molly.
No. Realist.
And then Contrarian.
Total. Yeah.
Jim Rutledge here.
It's Murr.
I'm the problem. It's
Mister.
Could it be possible you guys are the best show in ESPN Wisconsin, the whole state?
Yeah, obviously. It's
possible. Anything's possible.
You're the best.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Alongside Matt Hamilton and Molly Brown, here's Jim Rutledge.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. No Molly Brown. She's still out with babies. Matt Hamilton is in. And Matt, full disclosure, I did call our producer, Primetime Willersheim, and said, hey, a couple things. Confirming we're noon today. Yep, good on that. And then I said, hey, Matt's aware we're at noon today?
Fair ass.
And he said, yes.
Well, Matt's very aware. He texted me at 8 a.m. to make sure.
Yeah, I texted him. I was like, just to clarify, I'm pretty sure we're noon to 2 today and tomorrow.
Yes.
And then we've got some really random mixed up schedule for the rest of the week, I think.
Yes.
We're stealing Wilde and Tausch on Thursday?
Yes.
Stealing them.
We're takeover.
Yeah. Matt made it sound like you're
we're
kidnapping.
stealing their time slot.
Yes.
Yes.
I guess is what I'm getting at.
And then I think someone else is taking ours. So he's Matt Hamilton. I'm Jim Rutledge. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. If the mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's Crush, the Coors Light.
The Packers play tonight, and we'll jump into that. But Matt did reference, so today we're on at noon, obviously, because at 2 o'clock, KBN will come on, no Brad Nortman. And then from 4 until 7:15, Alex Strofe, Gabe Neitzel, Jared Bush, live from the Thunder Trio for Green Bay game day for this game as well. So we got you covered throughout. Will I listen to a Green Bay Packers postgame? Pre-game, excuse me, essentially when I am off for the rest of the day?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
If I was in the car, I would definitely tune it in.
You're not turning that dial if you're driving.
Correct. The dial is always on 100.5 ESPN or podcast.
Same. I was up north in Duluth and
just static.
No, I refused to switch it. It was NPR. I was like, oh no. Don't get me wrong. Like, I don't mind something? NPR, but the news is so sad.
Oh, yes.
So I was like, we immediately switched to Bluetooth and played music from my phone, but the dial does not get switched from 100.5.
Side note on the news being so sad, I was in Schaumburg this weekend, went to Medieval Times with my daughter. She loves horses, so she got a kick out of it. But obviously, both daughters and my wife came. But
the Medieval Times, like just across the border in Illinois?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I've wanted to go there for so long.
It's a trip.
Did you get a turkey leg?
Well, no, they give you it's chicken. They don't do turkey leg, but they give you like a roasted cooked chicken.
I want a turkey leg and a big wooden stein of mead.
You can do that. Nothing there's wooden. It's all like tin.
I could maybe bring my drinking horn.
They might let you bring your drinking horn from Madison Axe, but in the morning before we headed home, we were sitting down for breakfast at the complimentary breakfast, and the news was on. And I was like, good Lord. Like, fire, breaking. I'm like,
news is terrible, man.
This was the local news, but I was like, can we just have something else? Can we just turn ESPN on? Turn on the Packers pregame. All right, so.
You know it's a problem when Jim's looking for a Packers pregame.
Right. Well, I was at least in my country where I didn't get any crap for wearing Bear stuff about, so I made sure to wear plenty.
People like me.
People do like me. I think people are going to like this take that I have on the Green Bay Packers, and we'll use this as a jumping off point. And the way that I look at this game, Packers-Saints Monday Night Football, and just hear me out before people start losing their minds. The Packers in this game, this is not a lose-lose for them. They have nothing to gain in this game. I think that's obvious, but they also have nothing to lose. They're 14.5-point favorites over the Saints. Carr and Kamara and God knows everyone else is kind of confirmed out for the Saints. It's snowy. The Packers are on a roll. They're a better team. They're at home. All those play into the massive point differential here. But whatever the Packers do, good or bad, if they went out and laid an egg and lost this game, I still will not change my opinion of the Green Bay Packers. If they go out and win by 21 or 30, it's not going to change my opinion of the Green Bay Packers. This is one of those games.
Mark that, Ryan.
This is one of those games where they have to get through healthy, and that is it.
Okay, I am excited about this, and I agree with you mostly because if they lose, I'm still going to be upset.
Like, they have something to play for if they lose.
I'm still going to think that, well, yeah, I think they are playing for a little bit of a mix-up at who gets that higher wild card seed.
Or they could slip behind Washington, too.
So the wild card seeding is still up in the air, and I don't like the idea of going a step backwards. Losing to the Saints, in my eyes, I know you say you're not going to think any less of them. That's a step back for me because the Saints, like you said, don't have their best players. They're playing at home, Lambeau, in the conditions that historically Packer fans are like, this gives us an advantage.
Yeah.
So if they go out and lose this game, I am going to be upset. I am going to think they're not as good as I thought they were. Like, this is, I hear what you're saying. Like, getting through healthy is the most important part. And if they lose, but everyone's still healthy, like, it's not massive because we're still going to make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. But there's a good chance we play a tougher team in the playoffs first. There's a good chance that you're going to lose a little bit of that momentum, those positive vibes you're coming off of, a couple, winning the last one and then coming here. Just, I don't know.
Matt, give me your best muscle flex. There you go. That's our breaking news image of the Green Bay Packers being flexed to the 325 game for Week 17.
Oh, thank goodness. I
Packers
thought
versus Vikings. The Packers versus Vikings are now the late afternoon game. Makes a ton of sense for the Packers to be the late afternoon game. So the NFL is looking past this game for the Green Bay Packers. And for me, if the Packers lose this game, it literally just meant, hey, they got caught up looking up ahead to Minnesota. Doesn't mean they're not a good team. Doesn't mean that all the good things they've shown are somehow not real anymore. And I'm trying to be fair on it because there is no way for them to truly win this. They can win 100-0. It doesn't matter. So I wanted to make it a way that this was not a lose-lose game. And so for me, if I looked at it, the Packers, they have a little bit of control of their destiny here, but I don't care at all really what happens whatsoever as far as how I view the Packers going into the playoffs either. And I view them as a team that they are not the favorite to go to the Super Bowl from the NFC, but they are fully capable of going to the Super Bowl from the NFC. And I only have 4 teams in that window. I have the Lions, the Eagles, the Vikings, and the Packers. Those are the only 4 teams that I think have a shot to go to the Super Bowl from the NFC. I think the rest of the teams, like, could the Commanders give the Packers a run for the money if they somehow played each other at some point? Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. I don't think the Rams would. I don't think the
Buccaneers
Falcons.
Or Falcons.
I don't think either one of them would. Maybe the Falcons just because of the wild card of what is Penix, and you don't have a lot of tape on him. But Penix is a young player. He looked fine against the Giants.
New player. He's pretty old.
He's young in his career. He's young in his career. He might be older than Jordan Love. But 844-770-3776. This is what I want to ask. What is more important for the Green Bay Packers tonight? A win or avoid key injuries? Also, a little bit of news here. The Packers are set to activate Luke Musgrave in time for tonight's game.
Interesting. I mean...
Interesting is the right word for that. That's actually the perfect description of what just happened.
Great. I hope Tucker Kraft still gets the lion's share of everything, and Musgrave is there as like a decoy. And if he's open, go ahead and throw it to him. But
I would imagine he's not going to play a lot because there's just a difference between football shape. And I had Chris Orr, who was on the show last week, listened back Wisconsin on the Man to Chris on the show, and he referenced that when you're playing football, it's basically imagine sprinting as fast as you can and then throwing yourself into a brick wall. And then doing it over and over again. So that's just and that's the defensive side of things. But that's football shape, and you can't really mimic that in practice.
No,
Matt, you are decked out in your Duluth trading. I love it. The
Packer bibs,
and the look here. You can see Matt on the ESPN Madison YouTube page. You can follow us at Jim Matt Molly and at ESPN Madison. That's where our poll question is tonight. What is more important for the Packers tonight, a win or avoiding key injuries? Now, what is a key injury, Matt? Who are the players that, obviously Jordan Love's number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on that list? We all like Malik Willis. That was
I don't know if I would say he's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I think he's 1, 2, 4, and 5.
Okay.
Because 3, no doubt, is Josh Jacobs.
Okay.
He is, without Josh Jacobs, this team is not a Super Bowl caliber team.
I agree. Yes, especially for multiple levels. Now, again, the drop-off, and we all like Malik Willis, but I don't think anyone wants to see Malik Willis have to play a playoff game.
No.
And Josh Jacobs, so the drop-off from Love to Willis is real, but that one's almost one of those where you almost have like a built-in excuse, too.
Right.
If you're like, all right, well, they lost Jordan Love, that's just
Well, for me,
the breaks.
when you say key players, if we lose any key player that we could go through here, that also means that person can be not playing is an excuse in my eyes. That's what makes a key player. If they're not on the field, you can use that as an excuse for why you lost because your best player on whatever side of the ball. Like, I honestly think if we lost Xavier McKinney, I'd say that's almost excuse worthy.
Oh, I think for me,
Almost.
just in general,
Defense is tougher because
if you play Detroit, you got no excuses defensively because Detroit, I think, has 22 players on the IR and a lot of them are on defense. So, and including obviously one of the best players in football in Hutchinson. So,
Right.
You have to.
Right, but they have an excuse. Like, if they lose in a playoff game, like, well, our defense was obliterated. I would say, and I would be like, you know what, you're right. I'd still be like, you still lost because I'm a Packer fan. But I'd be like, you're right.
I like that. Maybe we could dip into that too.
And I think it has, like, if you want to make an excuse for your team because of an injury, that player has to be so crucial to your team that they are worthy of the excuse. You know what I mean? To be a key player.
I don't know if a safety would be. And McKinney's good. He's fallen.
But he's more than a safety. He's the leader of that defense.
True. He's leveled out as far as defensive player of the year. I know he hasn't fallen off. He's still a hell of a player. But
I mean, that's obviously offensive coordinators like, okay, we got to – McKinney had 7 interceptions in 5 games or something. Like, we got to keep this guy under wraps.
Yeah,
we got to know where he's at all the time on the football
scheme
field.
away from him. But that kind of speaks to – that position's easier to scheme away from. Like, if Hutchinson to me is a bigger loss than anyone the Packers could lose, just because that D lineman you could put all over the field, there's disruptive. With Packer fans seeing that from Reggie White to a little bit of obviously Kenny Clark at times. They've had those pass rushers, Clay Matthews on the outside at linebacker. Like, that is one of those things you can move all over the place. It's why Packer fans wish cast that Rashawn Gary. Look, tonight might be. I'll tell you this. Tonight might be a game where Rashawn Gary a little stat padding.
I sure hope so.
Get those double-digit sacks for the first time in his life.
I sure hope so. Was he at 7 right now? 8? 7, I think?
He's right at 6.5. I don't know, somewhere in there. 844-770-3776, how you get into the show. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are on early because we have KBN coming up at 2, and then we have Green Bay game day from 4 until 7:15 with Alex Strofe, Gabe Neitzel, and Jared Bush live from the Tundra Trio. We are asking you, what's more important tonight, a win or avoiding key injuries? You can avoid key injuries in your life by working out at Carbon World Health. Helps get you in great shape. You can do semaglutide to keep that weight off, which helps avoid injuries. You do hormone optimization, which helps build muscle mass, which also could help avoid key injuries. They have cryotherapy and red light therapy, all things that can help avoid injury with recovery. So stay your best self, stay your healthiest self with Carbon World Health. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau.
There's always pressure. You got to find ways to deal with that pressure and handle as best you can to be the best.
This is your Green and Gold Fix on 100.5 ESPN.
Obviously, there's going to be things that turn up along the way. You got to be able to adjust.
This Green and Gold Fix is driven by Metro Ford.
The Green and Gold take on the New Orleans Saints at Lambeau Field tonight for some primetime football action. And with the win, the Pack can clinch a playoff spot, their second straight under quarterback Jordan Love, and the fifth in the tenure of head coach Matt LaFleur. As for how this roster has gotten there in back-to-back years, LaFleur credits Goody and his scouting staff.
And that's really all you can ask of anybody is just to be your best each and every day. And I think guys that embrace that and come in with the right mindset, the right work ethic will ultimately be the best version of themselves.
Kickoff from Lambeau Field between the Packers and Saints is at 7:15 tonight.
Purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Ford at Metro Ford of Madison on the east side today.
From color-changing Alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
There's no safer place to feel dumb than Mystery Relevant with Alex Strofe.
I would love to play court on Mr. Irrelevant.
What do you mean play court? You want a mock trial?
Yeah, mock trial. Yeah.
Who's on trial for what?
Me.
For being a dumbass?
Yeah, right.
Oh, guilty. I solved it.
Yeah.
Mystery Relevant, presented by Door County Distillery. Live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12:30 on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Tune in to Jim, Matt, and Molly every Friday for Fish Friday. Brought to you by Off-Broadway Draft House, Madison's favorite spot for a Friday fish fry.
Man, I got this swag. My head to my bag. You know I'm poppin' tag. But man, I got this swag. Man, I got this swag. My head to my bag. You know I'm poppin' tag. But man, I got this swag when I serve. Now I be surfing swag. I'm on hypnotic.
We are back with Jim, Matt, and Molly coming to you live from the Everlight Solar Studios in downtown Madison. I'm Matt Hamilton. Jim Rutledge is MIA, and Ryan Wilderstein behind the glass. We are asking you, what would you rather see out of tonight's Saints game? A Packers win or the Packers to escape the game with no significant injuries? That is our Twitter poll question. Kind of paraphrase. Ryan, how did you post it exactly?
So I didn't post it with leading with the Saints game. I said the Packers game. What matters more for the Packers in tonight's game?
Packers versus the Saints.
Yes, you're right. Sorry.
I figured everyone knew.
Look, Jim's not here. I got to get on you for how you talk, Matt. All right, somebody has to hold you accountable.
You're right.
Yeah, I'm trying to be a good co-host.
This is my practice segment of leading a show, and you're basically said I'm at a C right now. I thought that was a good intro.
C+. You did a good job introing it. Just the poll question was tough.
Okay.
The only thing I said
that's because I didn't know it. Jim started babbling and was like, I don't care if they win or lose. And I'm like, okay, checking out now.
Well, I mean, we all know what we say when Rutledge opens his mouth.
Tell Rutledge that.
Just listen to Barry over us. But yes, I posted it as what matters most for the Packers in tonight's Saints game. Not having any injuries or just getting a win. Not any key injuries like you and Jim were talking about. And who qualifies as key players who could fall into that category.
See, we're going to have to get into that key players part because, like, if Eric Stokes gets injured, I'm not going to be like, oh, no. Like, sure, a little bit of depth at corner is out with Jair being a huge question mark in of itself. But, like, how much is Stokes moving the needle? Not a ton.
Stokes not moving the needle at all.
Right.
He's
so,
the third
like,
corner.
I think Jim's going to get on you for the way you posted that one, by the way.
You know, I texted and said, how much time do I have? I'm making coffee. And you didn't get back to me, Brian.
Well, because you texted me after we came back from break.
Jim.
Well, text me right away. I would have come right through.
Jim, it brought it back perfectly.
He did pretty well. I give him a B for bringing it back.
Did he mention the YouTube?
He didn't mention
I
YouTube.
didn't, no.
Okay, we're on YouTube.
Thing.
I am wearing a sweatshirt from Matt, a gift here. It is the Anti-Social Club, which I think fits.
Does that meet in the coffee room? Is that where you were with the Anti-Social Club?
I guess. Blame the Keurig there. It took 600 years to get started.
That's fair.
I blame our office administrator, Lainey. She's got to do something better than that.
Yeah.
Can't be giving us such...
Pots of coffee should be ready to go at all times. Did he give out at ESPN Madison?
Yeah.
At Jim, Matt, and Molly?
Throughout the poll question? Throughout the Jim, Matt, and
Did
Molly?
he say why we're on at noon?
Oh, no.
Can you imagine
Well, he said for tonight's Packers-Saints game. He didn't necessarily explicitly say why we were noon to 2.
I've alluded to.
Okay, because you think like someone just gets in the car and they might be like, am I having a stroke? Am I hearing Matt Hamilton at 12:20? And he's
They'd probably be
bringing in
like,
the show?
wow, how blessed am I?
Like, who's this filling for Carlin right now? What's going on?
He's got the voice of an angel.
I mean, you and Carlin...
Fallen angel.
Yeah.
Landed right on my vocal cords.
844-770-3776 is how you get into the show. Asking you, what's more important today, a win or avoiding key injuries?
Wait.
What was
I am so excited for you to be upset with our producer.
Okay.
Ryan, will you read again exactly how you posted our poll?
One moment.
Why are you changing the poll question?
He
How did
didn't
I
really
change
change it. He
Okay.
just didn't hear you clearly. Kind of the same way I don't always hear you clearly.
All right, so JJ and Ponette says both are important, but certainly avoiding key injuries is slightly more important. A loss makes it fairly likely we're the 7th seed. I doubt that. I'd rather not go to a 2 seed's house in the opening round, and since that 2 seed would be Dallas, not the Rams. 844-770-3776.
Dallas
won't be Dallas. I'm sorry.
Won't be Dallas
or the Rams. 844-770-3776. Ryan, psychedelic advisor, chimes in. Wow, how blessed am I that I get to hear Matt Hamilton early in the day. Again, we're on early from the Everlight Solar Studio because KBN goes 2 to 4. Then Strofe, Neitzel, Jared Bush for a Green Bay game day comes on at 4 to 7:15 as we got you covered here on ESPN Madison for the Packers. How'd you post it?
So what did I do wrong here? What matters more for the Packers in tonight's game against the Saints? Getting a win? Avoiding any key injuries?
You said key.
I said key, yes.
Okay, when you read it off to just me, you just said avoiding injuries, and I was like, oh no.
I believe I said avoiding key injuries. I just didn't enunciate very well. That's
maybe
on
I
me.
didn't hear you. We can always play it back, but that was I was like, oh no, Jim is going to be very upset that you just said injuries and not.
And it's not Ryan's fault. It's just because Twitter's a dumpster fire and everyone just nitpick it. Like,
yeah.
Well, I don't care if
that's what I was
Eric
saying.
Stokes gets hurt.
Well,
that's exactly what I said.
I
because
heard
that's
Stokes,
the way I
and that
heard
was
it.
my intuition of like.
Yeah, like that's not a
how
key
Stokes
player.
made his
Like that
play.
doesn't count for me.
That was my radio host intuition. And Matt, you missed this yesterday quickly, or not yesterday. It would have been Friday when you were out. John Adios filled in. And John's name is different than how it spells, and I haven't hosted a ton with John, so every once in a while I just want to remind myself how to say it. And Ryan, right before the show, I literally was thinking to myself, Audius. Like, that's what I was thinking. And Ryan texted me and just said, and spelled out phonetically for me. And so I was like, that's the wavelength we have now that he said he saw it in my face. And I was like, he's trying to remind himself how to say Audius.
Yeah.
Which is something like you could try that with Giannis.
No.
Giannis, that's got
I'll just start with Giannis.
You like to just go first thought in your mind, raw. However it pops in your brain is how you're going to say it.
Honestly, that's how I like to do it.
Yes. Right now, 65% of you say avoid key injuries. And again, this is not.
69.
You have to take you have to take my word for it, but this is not some sort of spin. Honestly, trying to spin it in a way that's positive for the Packers. This leading into this game, because otherwise it's a no-win game for the Packers. And because unless they win by 20, you go, okay, great, they beat a bad team, and that's fine and dandy. But Minnesota's the only game left on their schedule that matters. And if they lose, you're like, oh my God, this team. Look at them. They're inconsistent and all that. We're this far into the season. And I guess this is what I'm getting at. I know who the Packers are. I know that they're capable of beating Minnesota. They're capable of beating Philadelphia. They're capable of beating Detroit, even though they haven't shown it. But they are capable of beating those teams. They haven't shown they're capable of beating any of those teams. But I do think they are capable of beating those teams. That's why I put them as not the favorite, but as a team that can go to the Super Bowl.
So I do have a question for you, kind of based on our poll question is, what players would we consider key players on the Packers?
Well, that's what I want to get into. So let's run. We started to last segment here. Jordan Love, obviously, and then we also have Josh Jacobs. Give me two more, and then we'll take a break and get to Jason.
I still standing pretty firm on Xavier McKinney.
Okay.
Just because I think he is more than just a safety. He's the leader of that defense. This is where it kind of gets murky because I feel like the Packers still might be able to win. They might not be able to get to a Super Bowl, but they could still win a playoff game without these players. Jaden Reed.
Okay.
I believe they won a game with one target, no catches. Jaden Reed put up a goose egg in fantasy football.
He's still out there as a
right, but he's at the worst he's a decoy.
Yes,
in those kind of games.
Yes.
So if he's not on the field, it's useless. Another player. Is there anyone else on the defensive side of the ball that you would think of like?
Well, for me, and we'll take a break here. Here's what I would say. Adam Madison says Jaden Reed, Tucker Kraft. I think you're fine without them.
Tucker?
You're fine. It's not the end of the world. You have enough overall weapons. If you lost them both, for me, honestly, outside of Jacobs and Love, it's more of a war of attrition. Like, even with McKinney, I get what you're saying. But, like, offensive linemen, you're healthy enough. You'd have to lose multiple offensive linemen because Jordan Love, like most quarterbacks, he is better when he's not pressured.
Yeah.
And so if he was getting a lot of pressure because the offensive line was beat up, that would be a problem. If multiple pass catchers were knocked out.
What about McManus? Who are the Packers kicking with?
On that note, with that dad joke, tell us about Revive Restoration.
Well, apparently Jim didn't like that take, so I'm going to try and revive it with my friends at Revive Restoration. They won't be able to help me with this take, but they've helped me with my gym in the backyard. I had a mold problem. They remediated it quickly, efficiently, and detail-oriented so I could get my gym back on track again, unlike this gym who likes to be off the rails. They also deal with asbestos removal. They could do smoke and fire remediation, mold, obviously, and also water. You can check out revivepros.com to see the whole gamut of services they have to offer you, or you can call Revive Restoration and tell them Jim, Matt, and Molly sent you.
Jason Wilde, next.
You're listening live from St. John's, Newfoundland. The Newfies love Jim, Matt, and Molly. 100.5 ESPN Madison.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's original craft vodka. In 1995, Tito Beveridge built his very own distillery and put his life savings into it. Since then, he's won the unanimous Judge's Choice Double Gold Medal at the World Spirits Competition, the Chairman's Trophy for World's Best Vodka Tonic, and many others. Tito's Handmade Vodka is still made on the same land where he started it, all in Austin, Texas. Distilled from corn and gluten-free. Visit us at titosvodka.com for recipes, videos, and more. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
After a serious crash with a semi-truck, everything can change instantly. Your future, your family's future, your quality of life. That's why knowledge and results matter in big truck cases. And not all law firms have the know-how or the resources to handle these complicated cases. At Gruberg Law Offices, we have the experience it takes to make sure you're protected. And there's never a fee until we win your case. Gruberg Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Indulge in the ultimate chocolate experience this holiday season with Gail Ambrosius Chocolatier. Your significant other will love the handcrafted selection created right here in Madison. Stop by their store on Atwood and treat your taste buds today. Once you taste the difference that locally owned and made chocolate provides, you'll never go back to the mass-produced box of chocolate again. Share the joy with a box of chocolate from Gail Ambrosius Chocolatier on Atwood.
Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. Simple. Pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Make your holidays bigger and brighter with Prize Picks, the best place to get real money action while watching your favorite sports. And again, you can win up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. Join now because this holiday season, Prize Picks is giving away 2 free picks in December, and they're giving away $30+ million in rewards during Picksmas. Download the app today. Use code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's right. Download the app today. Use code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Step into nostalgia with the Miller High Life Dive Bar of the Week. Listen to Jim, Matt, and Molly every Thursday to find out where you can enjoy $2 Miller High Lifes and High Life Lights. To celebrate our love for dive bars, we are going to tell you about some of our favorites, featuring one extra special dive bar that will have $2 High Lifes on special for the week. Taste the champagne of beer in its natural environment. A delightfully different dive bar in Wisconsin like Jerry's Place, the Nitty Gritty in Sun Prairie, Whatever Bar, and Sportsman Bar and Grill.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Jason, quick
You
question.
are one of one.
3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year.
Help me understand a little bit more clearly what you're asking.
Did you ever hear it called Don't Go Jason Waterfalls?
Is this Matt Hamilton?
So I kind of just thought of this question on the spot. So it needs to be workshopped a little. I'm not going to lie. You
That's the same as Matt.
Jason Wilde is on Jim, Matt, and Molly.
What's up with that? What's up with that?
Matt Hamilton, Jim Rutledge with you. Matt Hamilton in his overalls, green and gold overalls. I am in a sweatshirt from Matt Hamilton, Anti-Social Social Club. You can see that on the ESPN Madison YouTube. Primetime Oilers, I'm wearing a hat with a grill on it, which looks like a Packers hat because it's green and gold, but not a Packers hat. You can see Ryan on the YouTube page as well. We're not going to see Jason Wilde. We'll see a lovely Jason Wilde stock photo of him in a hoodie. And again, you can see all that on the ESPN Madison YouTube page. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light, live from the Everlight Solar Studio. And Jason, tonight's game is a weird one. And I wanted to spin this in a way of like the old cliche of like, well, only bad things happen for the Packers because unless they win by a lot, people are going to nitpick it. I'm going with, honestly, nothing the Packers could do winning the game or losing the game is going to change my opinion of them. It's so late in the year, I kind of know who they are. So we asked this poll question, is it more important they win this because it does affect seeding some, or it could, or is it just avoiding key injuries? Is that the most important part of this game? Because if they lose, honestly, I'd just be like, oh, they just look past to Minnesota, just a little hiccup. They're still the same team. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, it's a good question, Jim, because there's a few things that I would be grappling with if I were a Packers fan. One, you saw Jalen Hurts leave the Eagles game yesterday with a concussion, and I'm sure he'll be fine by the time the playoffs start. I'm sure he most likely will be fine by next Sunday. But that's a team that obviously then ends up losing the game, which also didn't do the Packers any favors, right? I mean, now Washington's at 10-5, and if the Packers were to somehow find a way to lose tonight, they'd be 10-5 also. And the one thing I think the Packers most definitely want to avoid is falling to the number 7 seed and having to play whoever the number 2 seed is, whether it's Detroit, if Detroit somehow falters down the stretch, or if it's Philadelphia, which I think will be the case. So that's part of it. But the idea of losing this game to a bad Saints team, no matter what Matt LaFleur wants to tell us, they're not going to have Derek Carr. They're not going to have Alvin Kamara. They're not going to have Chris Olave. I mean, I would think that would be pretty demoralizing for a team that fancies itself as a Super Bowl contender. But it's what you said at the beginning of this that I both agree with and disagree with. The first part you said about whatever happens tonight is not going to change the way I view this team. I agree with that part.
Okay.
But then you said, I know what this team is. And I still, from a big picture perspective of how good are they and what are they capable of, I'm still not sure if I know what that is, right? Like, playoff team? Absolutely. And obviously, officially, they can clinch a playoff berth by winning tonight. But, like, are they, if it came down to going to Atlanta or L.A., which right now, if the season ended today, they would be going to L.A. to face the third-seeded Rams, who they beat earlier this season at SoFi without Puka Nacua, without Cooper Kupp. How certain am I that the Packers would be able to go on the road and win that game? I'm not super certain. I like the way the Rams are playing better than I like some of the aspects of the Packers and the way they're playing right now. I like their offense, I like their defense, and yet there's something about the Rams and what they're doing right now that makes me think, in that matchup, I'm not sure how confident I am that the Packers win. And then, again, the reality is that they're not winning the division. That is official now. They cannot win the division. So they are almost certainly, unless they're the 6th seed and somehow miraculously they and Washington, if that ends up being the 7th seed, make the NFC Championship game, they are not playing at home. And so they'll have to win 3 straight on the road. And that idea, can they win 1? Sure. Can they win 2? Maybe. Can they win 3 straight to get to a Super Bowl playing on the road like the 2010 team did? I just think that's a really tall order for a team that I believe is a year away. So I'm eager to see how this plays out. I'm really eager to see what happens at 3:25 next Sunday, now that we know the Packers game has been moved against the Vikings at US Bank Stadium. But I still don't know just how good this team is. And you're right, I'm not going to find out anything tonight about them either.
Yeah, and everything you kind of just, I guess that's where I put the Packers, is that I have to put Detroit in front of everyone, even though they're pretty hurt. They're still just on this level, and they were a team in the NFC Championship game last year. They just feel like a team that is locked in, is not looking past anyone. And then I'd put the Packers with Philadelphia and Minnesota as like the teams that are capable of going to the Super Bowl, but are not the favorites. That would be Detroit. And then the Rams and Washington are the 2 teams I kind of look as like plucky. You don't want to face them. Like Washington, you just don't. Daniels could have one of those games. He just looks like he's having one of those seasons and one of those star players. So it's more the Packers are. They're not some dominant team. And if Detroit was healthy, it would just be Detroit without a doubt. And then the next week is the real game. It's probably somewhat interesting to me. It's more, and it still would be how good is Minnesota? Because if they go and beat the Packers again, with Brian Flores as their defensive coordinator and O'Connell as their coach and Darnold looking every bit the same level of quarterback as Jordan Love. I mean, Darnold was the first overall pick for a reason. He has the physical abilities. Well, then all of a sudden, what are they? So to me, it's almost more of like, I want to know what Minnesota is more than I need to know what the Packers are. And I think that'll be decided next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Matt LaFleur would yell at me for looking past the Saints game, but I really don't like.
We can do that.
Look, they still need to win it, right? I mean, it is important to win so you can get to 11 wins. So you're in position to finish 13-4, which would certainly set the table for the possibility, anyway, of if things fall the right way, you're in a better spot in terms of the final standings. But the fact of the matter is they're not locked into the number 6, but they're most likely the number 6, and that's going to mean some challenges on the road where, again, I don't know. They've been pretty damn good on the road under LaFleur, but the idea of this team getting to a Super Bowl, winning 3 straight on the road like the 2010 team did, I think the 2010 team made Packers fans think that what they did is not that hard, and it's incredibly hard. And that's why in the modern playoff era, only the Steelers in 2005, the Giants in 2007, and the Packers in 2010 were able to do it. And it happened, obviously, 3 times in like a 6-year span, and it hasn't happened since. Like, number 1 and number 2 seeds usually are the ones that advance, and that's why it's so important to win your division, and that's one thing we know the Packers will not be able to do now officially.
So, Jason, we're asking as well about, what's
more.
more.
Hey, before you,
Yes.
wait a minute now. Since I'm not on the YouTube feed, he mentioned you've got your green and gold overalls on. You're not one of those guys, even though you're obviously an Adonis. You're not one of those guys that doesn't wear anything else, right?
Oh, no.
I would have pointed out that dazzling detail if we were able to see his nipples on
I don't know
ESPN
about
Madison's
dazzling,
YouTube.
but it would have been a detail. Yeah.
Distracting detail for sure.
I mean, maybe for the next segment, I'll take the shirt off and we'll be one of those guys.
That was not a request.
I'll tune in. If
Yeah.
you're going to do that, I will log into my ESPN Madison YouTube feed just for that.
You can count
I'll
on
even
it.
comment.
I will.
Perfect.
If we can guarantee at least one viewer on the YouTube stream, I will do it. So, Jason, our poll question, like Jim said, it was, is it more important to get a win or to avoid key injury? And I think the word key injury can be interpreted a couple ways. I'm curious to you, what is a key player to you, and which players would fall into that category on the Packers?
Yeah, that's a good question, Matt, because there's a handful that I just don't think they can live without.
Perfect. I think so too. I think so too.
It starts with Josh Jacobs, Xavier McKinney, and Jordan Love. Look, I really like Malik Willis. He's just such an earnest kid that, really is one of the better under the radar stories of this season, right? I mean, because it was a while ago now that he won those 2 games early in the season as the starter while Love was out, and he was there for the win in Jacksonville where he had to play in the second half. But I mean, the idea of him doing that against playoff teams, not happening. But it's great that he's this reclamation project. Maybe if he continues down this trend, he'll become a starting caliber guy like Sam Darnold, frankly, has done this year. But if I'm a Packers fan, that is one piece of bad luck that I do not want to receive. Same with Josh Jacobs. Sure, could Emmanuel Wilson be a productive runner, just like we've seen some other backups like Mason in San Francisco, for example, replace a big-time running back and be productive? Sure. But Josh Jacobs is everything to these guys. And so I don't want to waste him and have something bad happen to him against a 5-9 Saints team. And then, McKinney is the lifeblood of that defense. I mean, I'd be curious to know, and I am no Joe Barry apologist by any means, but I would be curious to know how much better Joe Barry's defense would have been with Xavier McKinney instead of Darnell Savage as the key safety, right?
Yeah.
So you put that all together, those are 3 guys they can't live without. Now, they've got enough depth at wide receiver, and now they've got Luke Musgrave coming back. I'm not wishing any ill on Tucker Kraft or any of those wide receivers, but I feel like they could at least find a way. You don't want to lose any of those guys either, obviously, but they could find a way. And then the question would be, where would they be the most stressed on the offensive line if they were to lose someone? And this is a morbid subject, right? Because, but the problem is that you can look around the league. Look, Mike McCarthy's team, you saw him last night.
Yep.
If Mike McCarthy's team had stayed healthy, that is a playoff contending team. That is a playoff team that is in the mix, and they have had so many injuries. They were eliminated before they played last night. Same with the Detroit Lions. It's impressive that they have continued to just take every single huge injury and still find a way to win. But do you like their chances to win the Super Bowl? I don't.
Not as much as I did.
Right, exactly. So you put that all together, and that's why, in my opinion, the correct answer to your poll is avoid major injuries. Because you're going to the playoffs. We all know it. But you have to – I mean, the ideal scenario is you get out to a 24-3 lead at halftime. Love plays and Jacobs plays and McKinney plays the first series on each side of the ball in the third quarter, and then everybody sits.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
You mentioned Josh Jacobs and talked about the impact, and this isn't obviously the quarterback position is always the most important, but I think there's a strong case to be made that Josh Jacobs is the MVP of this team, in large part because they're running the offense that LaFleur wants to run, which is Jordan Love throws. If Jordan Love's really good and they win games if he throws less than 30 passes. If he throws more than 30 passes, he throws an interception this year. That's how it's gone. And so
You're right.
It doesn't mean that Jordan Love is not amazing, but I think like most quarterbacks, like Darnold, like Goff, which I think Love is in that category with maybe a higher ceiling than Goff. Darnold can make some pretty great throws too. Again, he's a pretty high-end player as far as a recruit, but to me, that's how they win is you need Jacobs. And if Jacobs missed a significant time and you had to have Jordan Love win shootouts over the next, try to get to the Super Bowl, win 4 games and win the Super Bowl with Jordan Love winning 4 shootouts, that's not going to happen. So that's why, to me, Jacobs is the MVP of this team because you need Jacobs to set Love up to be the best quarterback he can be.
Yep, you're 1,000% right. And look, this is not a degrading or negativity about Jordan Love, but he is a second-year starter still, right? And I think we probably were guilty of prematurely crowning him. Maybe not the 3-person panel right here, right now, but man, everybody loved Jordan Love last year. We're all talking about how great he was. Yes, he dealt with some injuries, but there were times when he made really bad decisions in the first half of the season. And now that they've got the Josh Jacobs run game cranked up, you're seeing him have to make fewer big-time throws. He's still making them. There's no doubt about that, too. Like the throw to Watson in Detroit, and then he had a couple of throws last week in Seattle where you're like, whew, this guy is capable of being really special. But you're right. Like, the whole idea of this offense is run the ball effectively so your quarterback doesn't have to go win the game. And if he throws 28 passes and completes 21 of them, right, you're happier than a clam. That's 75% completion percentage. He makes good decisions. He doesn't turn it over. He gets checkdowns that turn into big gains because that's what checkdowns do in this offense frequently. You have every chance to win every game. But, yeah, and let's not forget last year because, look, as much as I love Josh Jacobs, let's not sell Aaron Jones short last season. When Jordan Love went on that run last season, which, oh, by the way, included an ugly loss on Monday night in New York against Tommy DeVito and the Giants. He threw a crucial pick in that game. And the reason why they were so good, winning 6 of their last 8 and then winning that first playoff game in Dallas, is because Aaron Jones had 5 straight 100-yard games. He'd never done that before in his career. The offensive line was playing great. And now look where they're at again. The offensive line is playing really well. Josh Jacobs is running really productively. And that helps Jordan Love be a better version of Jordan Love.
I mean, there's 4 teams in this division that run the same offense. The most effective quarterbacks have, to give Aaron Jones his flowers, Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs, David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs as their running backs. The least effective team have a abysmal offensive line in DeAndre Swift, who's averaging 3.8 yards per carry. And they all run the same offense. And those 3 teams are performing remarkably better. Statistically, the quarterbacks are almost the same, weirdly, like if you looked at the numbers, but not the way that they actually play and win football games.
Yeah.
And you know that better than anyone.
Just watched it yesterday. I mean, good Lord. Hand it off to DeAndre Swift, 1 yard, 1 yard, and then Caleb has to make magic on 3rd down. It's ugly. And Jahmyr Gibbs is falling forward for 6 yards per carry. Aaron Jones, he was key in the Minnesota win.
Yeah.
I mean, and then obviously the Packers with Jacobs. Like these teams, like you have the running back, and it's like 1995 again. You got to have the running back, and then the quarterback can make the plays. Jason, thanks so much for hopping in.
Well, bring in Cedric Benson, and everything will be solved down in Chicago. All right, R.I.D., by the way, Cedric Benson.
Hey, tune into the next segment there, Jason.
Yes,
sure.
I will be. I will be firing it up momentarily. All right, boys. Take care. Be good.
Matt, I want you to tell us about Metcalf's Market.
Oh, I am so excited because Christmas Eve dinner is going to be that Piedmontese short rib that I've been saving. I'm going to smoke it up real good. I already told our producer Ryan about the awesome side dish I'm making, potato pave, for all you foodies out there. But the best part about it is I got all these amazing ingredients from Metcalf's Market, and I was able to save money on it. Metcalf's Market offers Metcalf's Rewards, where it's free to sign up. Thousands of coupons online for you to save money every single time you go to Metcalf's. You can get the Piedmontese beef. Maybe you want to get some specialty cheeses from Wisconsin or from afar. Check out the liquor section. It is vast, and there are deals to be had all over the place. So I don't know what you're waiting for. Sign up for Metcalf's Market at any of the locations, Wauwatosa, Hilldale, or near West Town Mall. Tosa. Go to Metcalf's Market and bring local home.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by The Jump Around. Don't miss new episodes of this exclusive digital show talking all things Wisconsin sports, premiering every Thursday at 12:30, streaming live on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. College football playoff round 1 in the books. The 12-team format, a new change compared to when Barry Alvarez sat on the original selection committee. Coach pulling back the curtain on that process.
If you lobbied, you were basically shut out. I thought it was very professional. I thought the people were prepared, but I thought it was really managed well. Everybody voiced their opinion, and then consensus led us to decisions.
The Great Dane Huddle with Barry Alvarez, streaming Monday nights at 6 on ESPN Madison's YouTube channel.
If you're not getting windows from Santa, get as low as $19 per window and $81 per patio door per month. HellaWI.com.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
UW Credit Union presents the Prep Mania Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org.
Hi, this is Dennis Semrau from Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania here on 100.5 ESPN. We're very excited to partner with UW Credit Union to help bring you even closer to the stories of great young student athletes. Each week, as part of this season of Prep Mania, will feature the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week. UW Credit Union is proud to support local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. And just like the fantastic student athletes we'll be telling you about all season, UW Credit Union's online banking also goes above and beyond with top-rated service and security that exceeds industry standards. UW Credit Union is here for you, presenting the Prep Mania Student Athlete of the Week. Learn more at uwcu.org.
Make this December one to remember at Metro Ford of Madison. The 2024 Ford F-150 is available with 1.9% APR financing for 66 months, $16.26 per thousand borrowed. Or check out the 2024 Ford Mach-E at 0% APR financing for 75 months, $13.33 per thousand. These holiday specials won't last forever, so head to Metro Ford of Madison today.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
Jim, Matt, and Molly, we are on at noon because we have KBN coming up at 2 o'clock. And then
Packers!
Yes, because Packers. Then we have Green Bay Game Day live from the Tundra Trio with Alex Strofe, Gabe Neitzel, and Jarrett Bush, which means Matt and I are on early. We are on at noon today. We are on at noon tomorrow because tomorrow's Christmas and everyone's going to be done working, at least at ESPN Madison, by 2 o'clock. And
there's nobody here today.
Right.
Nobody's working
Matt,
at all.
You know that you and I are the hardest working people in the radio biz.
Mm-hmm.
Prime's not going to be here tomorrow. Riley is producing the show tomorrow. Then, like you said, Thursday, we are off on Christmas, thankfully. Scrooge let us work. Scrooge let us have off for Christmas. But we're back at it 9 to noon on Thursday. And that'll be for Wilde and Tausch.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll be Friday. I feel like we got a weird time. I feel like we're 2 to 5 on ESPN Madison and ESPN Milwaukee. Is my correct?
Friday is 2 to 5. That is correct.
And we're on ESPN Wisconsin at that point.
Oh yeah.
Wow. So we'll be bringing the noise and bringing the funk.
Okay.
Matt looking funky right now.
Yeah, baby.
On the ESPN Madison's YouTube
I might have
page.
to save this for Friday too.
He's topless under his overalls, folks. So just stinks in here now.
It's good game day gear. Good game day gear.
Smells like a dude that was wearing overalls all day.
What do you guys? You don't think I have personal hygiene?
Yeah, but it's 1 o'clock already.
When was the last time you washed your hair?
Yesterday night, after my drive home from Duluth.
You really had to stop and think about that.
I did have to think about it because I was going to say yesterday, but it wasn't just yesterday. It was like before bed.
So within the last 24 hours.
Yeah,
that's
within
good.
the last 12 hours. No, okay, not quite. Within the 24 hours.
It's just an HR violation. He's got to work with a shirtless Matt Hamilton.
I'm wearing clothes and my nipples are covered.
Is that the
I think he's right there.
What is the Good Karma health code as we take you into
This
the Packer
is essentially
game here?
just a tank top.
He is wearing green and gold, his Duluth Trading overalls here, and you can chime in on if this is a HR violation, 844-770-3776 on the ESPN Madison's YouTube page. Because, look, the Packers, and we asked Jason Wilde about it, and you can listen back Wisconsin on Demand, Apple, Spotify, and those great places. We posted the poll question at ESPN Madison. What's the most important thing for the Packers tonight, a win or avoid key injury? So in the vibe of this game, outside of staying healthy, doesn't carry a lot of weight. Matt Hamilton is shedding weight in his clothing. So what is the Good Karma brand's dress code policy? Is it just have your nipples covered, or what is it, Ryan? I feel like
I want to say
you're the HR rep for the show.
Not even remotely. We haven't had an HR rep since Molly left.
But it's like one of those things, like when you do, like the Players Association has a team rep, a union rep.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see.
You're our HR
Maybe
rep.
it's me.
Yeah, but that's more of a union. HR is who's running the rules and who's enforcing rules. It's different.
Yeah, but they check in with you're our rep of hey, can Matt go?
Here's the thing.
I'm the rep to
Can Matt
Jesse
show
Nelson.
nipple?
The only reason I'm doing
Yes.
this is I
One.
know HR for our company is not watching our show. So I can pull this off.
Well, if I post this picture right now, are they going to see it?
They probably don't follow us on Twitter. This is for the people. I'm giving the people what they want, and they've asked for a shirtless Matt Hamilton.
By the people, you mean Jason Wilde.
Yeah, exactly. And Jason speaks for the people. As a writer, yeah, I just feel like this
is a
is
little behind the
appropriate.
scenes. Make sure to follow us at Jim, Matt, Molly. Is this going to go out on Christmas Day then? Our Christmas card?
Yes.
Christmas Eve. I think it's got to go out on Eve.
Christmas Eve?
Yeah.
No, it goes out on Christmas Day.
Okay, fine.
Because we won't be on the air that day, so we need to give the fans something. We need to give them content.
Yep. You're right.
So
Give
that
them
will
the
be
content
we're
they
going to
want.
have
A shirtless Matt Hamilton.
We posed
Well, not
during the
just that.
commercial break with a shirtless Matt Hamilton, and we did our best to reenact an awkward family photo here at the Everlight Solar Studio. So that will be our Christmas card sent out to the masses, if you will, from Jim, Matt, and Molly. Make sure to follow at Jim, Matt, and Molly. Do you think Molly Brown, who's out with babies, misses being a part of this?
Yes.
Being part of this right now?
Yes.
She would be sitting, 3 feet from you right now, Matt?
Oh, no. She sits over there, but she'd be laughing.
What?
She would find this hilarious.
Why does Molly sit here?
She never sits next to Jim.
Really?
She doesn't like me.
What do you mean? What?
I forgot. I thought
You
she sat
sit next
across.
to me.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. That's
typically.
my
She sits
spot
across
now.
from you.
That's right. This spot has just become my home, so I felt like this was, and it was my spot prior. I guess, yeah, you're right. I think Molly would still get a kick out of this.
Yeah, you look awfully comfortable in that seat right now.
Molly
Really
Molly
made it
is
your
a
own.
good.
We're definitely going to have to clean it.
Molly's
before
a
Molly
good
gets back.
sport.
Yeah, get some Clorox.
Yeah, I'll wipe
Power
it down.
wash.
I'll wipe it down. I'll take it to the car wash and give her a spray down. We'll be fine.
Perfect.
Not Molly, the chair. But yeah, no, Molly's a good sport. I think she would think this is hilarious. She's like, if Matt wants to embarrass himself on whatever level that we're going to put out there for him, like whatever that is, maybe it goes viral. I doubt it. But if it does, Molly would be here for it.
At Canopy Wealth Management, they are a fee-based advisory firm. They don't chase commissions, never back gimmicks or instruments that chase single-day returns or put your long-term goals at risk. The team at Canopy creates strategies that are tailored to your needs and goals. Canopy Wealth Management, care, competence, and clarity are not just buzzwords. They're a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started with them today. That's canopy-wealth.com. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
Hi, Dave from Canopy Wealth Management here. Our balanced approach helps guide you through a complex and ever-changing landscape. Throughout your family's financial planning journey, we will serve as a partner, advocate, and steward in all aspects to help you achieve your goals with confidence. At Canopy, care, competence, and clarity, it's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
This is Derek Engler. You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good afternoon, Madison. I'm Ryan Wollersheim, and this is your Sports Center update brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out at 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. And it is Packers game day here on ESPN Madison, which means Jim, Matt, and Molly helping take you up until kickoff, as we are noon to 2. Today we got one more hour today in today's program. And then Kyle Bruss and Nortman taking you from 2 to 4, though no Brad Nortman, as they lead into Green Bay game day from 4 to 7:15 p.m., which is when the Packers kick off Monday Night Football against the New Orleans Saints. Packers currently 14.5-point favorites against the Saints. And, well, what matters more for the Packers, coming away with a win or coming away without any key injuries? Head over to ESPN Madison's poll on Twitter as we're asking the fans right here on Jim, Matt, and Molly. And then as well tonight, the Milwaukee Bucks back in action after dropping 1 out of 2 games over the weekend to the Cleveland Cavaliers 101-124 loss on Friday, before beating the Wizards 112-101 on Saturday. Bucks play the Bulls tonight in their final game before Christmas Day. 7 p.m. tip-off, though. No Giannis, no Dame, no Chris Middleton for the Bucks as they're all out tonight. Second hour of Jim, Matt, and Molly.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's going to swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow.
People like me.
I don't think so. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
We're learning a lot about each other.
It's Mer.
I'm the flower, it's bird. It's kind of a roller coaster. Sports is a roller coaster.
Matt, the sports fan version of Matt is way more relatable than the sports fan version of Jim Rutledge or me. You're thinking like a radio host, which means a hardcore radio and sports person. Matt's thinking like somebody that has a job doing something else that also likes sports.
That's Matt's whole charm.
Yeah.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Alongside Matt Hamilton, here's Jim Rutledge.
It is a special Packers game day edition of Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are still presented by Coors Light, Matt Hamilton. If the mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's crush a Coors Light.
Molly Brown's still out with babies. Primetime Wollersheim behind the glass. Matt Hamilton, you can see him shirtless with overalls on. I do not like the sound of you slapping skin. You can
just showing off the biceps, baby.
You can just see that on the ESPN Madison YouTube page if you'd like to see Matt in his green and gold overalls. I am in my anti-social social club, and I could not feel more antisocial than I am right now with Matt Hamilton, less than dressed right now.
I'm mostly dressed.
At Jim, Matt, Molly on Twitter, along with at ESPN Madison, is how you can get into the show, along with 844-770-3776. We're asking you what's more important tonight, a win or avoiding key injuries. And we are taking you up to KBN which is at 2. And then Green Bay game day, 4 to 7:15 with Alex Strofe, game nights with Jared Bush. And then after the Packers dismantle the Saints, Tausch and Homer will wrap up the show with Green Bay game night. And what is your juice level, Matt Hamilton, for this game? Because obviously I'm not a Packers fan. We're on the air tomorrow, and so I'm going to watch this game. I'm not very excited for it because as I started the show last hour, I started it with the idea that nothing in this game outside of an injury is going to change my opinion of the Green Bay Packers, good or bad. I think they're right there as one of the 4 teams that can go to the Super Bowl from the NFC. That would be it's not a wild bet. Like, could the Rams do it? Yeah, Matthew Stafford. Anything could happen. Yeah. Could Daniels be even better than we think? Possibly. But in general, I'm going 4 teams that I would legitimately consider betting. The Packers are one of those 4 teams. Whatever they do tonight, not going to matter. So it's not a fun topic to get into because otherwise I don't want to talk about injuries tomorrow. That's not, and I'm not going to even say a name. That's not a fun show either. So it's a weird game to get into. So you can chime in 844-770-3776. What is your why for watching tonight? And it could just be I'm a Packers fan.
So, first and foremost, because I'm a Packers fan, I'm going to be into it. But secondly, you keep saying that there's nothing that can change my opinion of them. For me, again, as a Packers fan, a loss, even if they were just kind of overlooking the Saints because the Vikings are a big test coming up, a playoff caliber team that the Packers will get to play prior to the playoffs. Overlooking a team or playing down to a lesser team's level is not Super Bowl caliber in my opinion. So if they lose tonight, I don't think I put them in the top 4 capable NFC teams of making the Super Bowl. If you can overlook a team that doesn't have their starting quarterback, doesn't have their best wide receiver, and doesn't have their most likely future Hall of Fame running back, if you can't go out and take care of business against a team like that, you are not a Super Bowl caliber team. So I think this, as much as you are saying this is not a lose-lose game, if you lose, I don't think you've got the juice to get through a playoff, especially like Jason Wilde had mentioned, on the road. But if you win, you're supposed to win this game. This is a lose-lose game as far as the Packers. It's we're not going to think any greater of you, but if you lose to a team that's obviously dinged up, not a very good New Orleans Saints team, I'm going to think that you're not capable of beating any playoff caliber teams for the most part. So I like where your head's at, but I'm a little bit more in that pessimist camp right now. They can't afford to lose to the Saints because overlooking a team is not what championship caliber teams do.
Now, losing is not devastating, but that is a kick in the shins. It just doesn't change what I think their capabilities are.
Right. It doesn't change what I think their ceiling is, but it certainly tells me that their floor is lower than I thought.
Okay. 844-770-3776. We asked, what do you want? What's in it for you? What's your joy? What are you looking for out of tonight's game? We were also asking the poll question, what's more important, to win or avoid injuries? Eric Madison chimes in. My reason is twofold. One, he's a Packers fan, and 2, I need Josh Jacobs to score 20 points for Fantasy Super Bowl.
Okay. That's super doable.
Yeah, that's definitely a good reason to watch. 844-770-3776. Can we agree for this exercise, I just want to do this quickly, that the Detroit Lions are a Super Bowl caliber team?
Yes.
Okay, so they started the season. Now, obviously, I'm just going to run through the games of teams that by the end of the year were kind of cooked, and let's see how they did against it. I'm going to leave out playoff teams, and I'm going to leave out division. Because to me, division can throw things off in general.
Right. Yeah, just because it's always a bigger game.
All right. At Dallas, they won 47-9. So, yes, Tennessee, 52-14.
Crush.
Green Bay and Houston are both playoff caliber teams. Jacksonville, 52-6. At Indianapolis, 24-6. Then they had the Bears and the Green Bay Packers. They lost to Buffalo, and then the Bear game, but they won 34-17.
But that's playoff caliber team in Buffalo.
Right.
You're going lesser teams.
So to your point, honestly, even if you kept in divisions, which is the only one team in the division not going to the playoffs, is the Bears. Their 23-20 game over the Bears on Thanksgiving, which is a weird time to play, is the only game that they played against a lesser opponent that they didn't win by double digits.
Right. And
So
that's
including
what
the Bears
a
the
Super
second
Bowl
time around, 34
caliber-
to 17.
And that's what Super Bowl caliber teams do. I bet the Eagles would be in a very similar line.
Well,
on
the
that.
Eagles should have been. Now they would have smoked the Commanders yesterday, in my opinion. But
Had Jalen played the whole game?
Jalen barely played at all. I think
Right.
he had 5 pass attempts. Kenny Pickett played most of the game.
1 completion.
They should have won They should have won the game. I mean, was it A.J. Brown? Who was the player for the Eagles that dropped it?
Devontae Smith.
Devontae Smith dropped
As wide open as you'll
just
ever
dropped
be.
a slant pass that would have caught it, ended the game, gave the ball back to the Commanders. But Philadelphia, we can look at what their schedule has been so far as well. But it's one of those things that I am curious about. Now let's look at the Packers. Who have they? The Packers are tougher though. We can get into them, but just off the top of my head, their first couple of games against non-playoff teams, well, they won those games, but they didn't have Jordan Love, so they don't count. As far as you don't have to beat the snot out of the
With your
Colts or the
backup
Titans.
quarterback, yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to do that. So, well, the Eagles, they beat the Steelers, who are a very good team. They beat them 27-13, but then they beat the Panthers, not a good team, 22-16. So that one's harder.
Right.
They beat the Rams, a good team, 37-20. They beat the crap out of the Cowboys, 34-6, but they let Jacksonville hang around 28-3. But they beat the hell out of the Bengals, 37-17.
28-3?
I'm sorry, 28-23.
Oh,
Sorry.
I was like, they let him hang around. They let him score.
They beat the Giants 28-3.
Okay.
And but they beat the Bengals, who have an outside shot at the playoffs, 37-17.
Right.
So, but then the Browns, 20-16. Honestly, the Eagles are the team. They beat the crap out of the good teams and let the bad teams hang around. So they're more of one of those play to the level competition sort of teams.
Which is not, in my opinion, super.
It can get done, but you're right.
But they're getting it done. So it's still like that's NFC Championship quality play. When you can beat the teams that you should, even if it's just by a little bit, and you're still taking down playoff caliber teams.
Now, what if you're one of those teams who just wins every game by like within 7 points, like i.e. the Minnesota Vikings?
Well, let's be fair. The Vikings do have a lot of one-score games, but they
do.
also have a huge differential on their opponents.
When they beat teams, when they beat bad teams, they beat
them
Yeah,
bad.
well, and it's a misleading. Yeah, their point differential is larger than the Packers is, and this is not the team of a couple of years ago. And I think that baggage for the
No.
Yeah, like that baggage carries. But the Vikings, I believe, had 4 wins of 17 points or more this year, and I think they have 6 wins of 10 points or more, and the Packers have 5 wins of 10 points or more. They'll probably
Wait,
get
they
6.
have 4 wins. Say that again?
4. I think it's 4 wins of like 15 or 17 points or more, and then within those they also have
6 wins of 10 points or more.
yes, and the Packers have 5 wins of 10 points or more.
Okay.
So the Packers are right there too. I'm just saying the Vikings and Packers are very similar.
I would just be curious what the margin of victory is in those other wins for the Vikings.
Yeah, but like last night's game, like to me, that is a I'm not discounting the Chiefs. Like yesterday's game, the Seahawks went down the field and they scored, and the Seahawks are playing for their playoff lives. Geno Smith played the entire game this time.
True.
But then the Seahawks went there and scored. Sam Darnold had to go on the road and lead his team to a game-winning touchdown with 4 minutes to go in the game, and they did. And then the defense had to stop Seattle. To me, that's a team that plays winning football. The Commanders are more of that fluky team where they have the Hail Mary victory, and then yesterday with the drop pass, and then they get the Commanders are the team that feel a little bit more of like, hey, they have a high ceiling, but realistically, they're probably not as good as their record.
They're scrappy. They're going to hang around, and if you leave the door open, they'll go through it.
Yeah, the Commanders remind me a little bit more, and obviously not to the extreme of the Vikings a couple of years ago, but that Vikings team that won like all those
11 one-score game victories.
Right, and so this Vikings team, their defense is legitimately a top, I think, 5 defense, and it is a defense coached by a coordinator who is believed to be one of the best coordinators in football. And I
they
think
get a lot of takeaways. Every game they've had a takeaway so far this season.
And they apply pressure. They make quarterbacks make mistakes. They just do a lot. Those just like the Packers, like the turnovers are not accidents. Like those are, we're putting pressure on you. And then also they mix things up. Like they don't run the same defense. I wonder what they're going to run against Jordan Love. I mean, I'll just use the Bears as an example. It's the team I follow the most. Caleb Williams said they ran a completely different defense that we had scouted and that they used against the last time. They decided to stop blitzing and run everything in a zone. And it took them about a quarter and a half to figure it out. It was Jordan
that's
Love.
what I hope they do. I hope they run zone against Jordan Love.
But I mean, like they're going to run what they think is effective. But Jordan Love's quick enough that works for like 2 series, and then the Packers with LaFleur and Love would figure it out and then go forward. But then Flores could then counter again. So, but then O'Connell to me is obviously he doesn't have the resume of LaFleur, But he is what, LaFleur 3-4 years ago?
I think he's actually, I saw this earlier today, I was reading. I believe he's the first Vikings head coach to have multiple 13-win seasons, or maybe the second in franchise history. And he's only, I believe, in his third or fourth season with the franchise. What he's done so far with the quarterback play that he's had over the past few years.
Okay, come on. Kirk Cousins was in the conversation for MVP last year.
But no, that was when he got hurt last year.
Now he's benched.
Last year he got hurt, and then look what he did.
Yeah,
I mean, a few
before
games with
his
Josh
injury.
Dobbs.
And to me,
Well,
and
a few games
JJ
with Josh
Poinette,
Dobbs, the other quarterbacks.
JJ and Poinette wants to give the Vikings no love here. I'm sorry, you can't go 12. What are they? What's the record?
They are 12. They're 13-2.
That you cannot go 13-2 and be fluky.
That'd be tough.
All their wins are because teams blew it. Seattle game, they didn't blow it.
Is anyone on this panel saying that?
No,
fluky?
JJ and Poinette chimed in with that. Because here's the other part of it.
Is fluky or isn't?
Here's the issue with the other teams of Vikings is a ridiculous record in scores that is a reversion to the mean that is probable. It's because those wins are ridiculous things have happened in those wins. I'm sorry, nothing ridiculous happened in the Packers win. They hung on and won that one. Nothing ridiculous happened in the Seattle win. And let's not pretend the Packers, and we can go through any team. You watch every single team and you hate watch them, you can find ridiculous things you can point to and be like, they shouldn't have done that. I don't know, beating the Bears on a blocked field goal, like that was a makeable kick. That's not a ridiculous thing. That's the better team won.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like, we're not going to do that on this show. We'll find out what the better team is at the end of the season. Not even in this Minnesota game. I just think Minnesota looks like a team that is equal to Green Bay, behind Detroit, and probably behind Philadelphia.
So you say Vikings Packers equals?
Yes. I mean, if you're gonna tier them, I've never really changed off that. I just put the Vikings in front because they've won the game.
So you put them in like both tier 2, but like Vikings tier 2A, Packers tier 2B.
Yes,
That's how I would
I
do
have
it.
Detroit as the
fair.
team to beat, even with
S
the injuries.
tier.
And
That's
then
your
you
S
have
tier.
There you go.
You got your A tier at Philly.
Yeah.
And then B tier, you got B number 1 in Minnesota, B number 2 in Green Bay, and then the rest are somewhere down below.
JJ and Poinette is clarifying he was talking about a couple years ago. That is true.
Yes.
So I would say that I have Detroit, and then I put Philly, Minnesota, and Green Bay all together. Probably in that order.
Philly's in there too.
Probably in that order. Philly's just...
I don't know if I'm putting Philly in that same group.
I
would put the Packers and the Vikings one.
Well, you know what?
below.
I'll give you this. Yeah, Philadelphia's defense probably puts them. It probably goes Detroit, Philadelphia, and then
and their offensive line is probably the best in football.
Green Bay's offensive line is pretty good too.
Yeah, they are.
I'm jealous of everyone's offensive line.
That's fair.
The lowest.
Your
of ours.
quarterback has been dinged
60 times. He's been sacked 60 times. 60 times this year. They're not all on the offensive line, but a lot are. 844-770-3776. What's the most important thing for the Packers tonight? Win or avoid key injury? Since this is Jim, Matt, and Molly, this is the Packers game day edition of Jim, Matt, and Molly. We're on early because KBN's coming up, and then Green Bay game day at 4 o'clock. We'll take a break. We'll come back with Don't Quote Me.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions, securing homes and businesses in the Madison area since 1987. The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Hunter Vaughn here. Coming up after the holidays, our coverage of high school basketball will be in full swing. From rivalries to the postseason, we'll have some of the best teams and the top players from around the area right here on ESPN Madison. Along with listening to every game on ESPN Madison and Wisconsin On Demand, you can subscribe to the ESPN Madison YouTube page and watch every game live.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Pizza Hut's wings are the best thing to happen to pizza night since, well, pizza. Introducing Pizza Hut's new Big Boneless Wing Bundle. For only $15.99, enjoy 16 crispy boneless wings in 2 different flavors, 2 dipping sauces, and a double order of fries. The wings are sauced and tossed to perfection and available in 9 flavors like honey barbecue, garlic parmesan, and sweet chili. It's the perfect bundle for game days, girls' nights, family night, or any tailgate party. Order now on the Pizza Hut app or at pizzahut.com.
When
severe weather hits and the power goes out, do you have a plan? For reliable power and peace of mind, propane can do that. It only takes about 10 seconds for a propane-powered generator to restore power to your home. So no matter what Mother Nature has in store, you know you're prepared. Learn more at WIPGA.org. This message is sponsored by your local propane provider and the Wisconsin Propane Education and Research Council.
One of the best things about the holidays is going home and spending time with family and friends. One of the worst things, getting there. Holiday travel can be tough, especially driving. If your loved one needs help after an accident this holiday season, we're here for you. Our top-notch team of experienced professionals is available 24/7. Be safe this holiday season. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Hey, it's Bobby Portis, and I love playing basketball in Milwaukee. When I drive down the lane, I move fast and make sudden moves to drive to the hoop and score. But when I'm behind the wheel in the driving lane, I control my drive. I don't speed or make sudden movements. Speeding and reckless driving are the leading causes of traffic injuries and deaths in Wisconsin. Do what I do. Control your drive. Don't speed. Don't be reckless. Zero in Wisconsin. Together we can save lives. Wisconsin DOT.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Yeah, it's over, it's over. I'm circling these boxes, got me praying, man, this hunger.
The Adam of Madison asked, is Detroit really tier one with all those injuries? As we tiered the teams last segment, you can listen back Wisconsin On Demand, Apple, Spotify, and those great places.
It's a good question.
You can. Matt Hamilton there throws me off every time.
Classic.
As he is wearing just overalls, no shirt underneath. You can see that on the ESPN Madison YouTube page. Follow the show at Jim, Matt, and Molly. You also can see a photo of Matt like that as well. And to the Adam Madison's question, I'm going to go with, it's a fair question. I'm going with yes until they prove otherwise. Their
100%.
offense is, and I do think their offense is going to hurt them. Maybe it could get them all the way. I'm sorry, their defense could get them all the way to the Super Bowl, and then maybe that's where they lose. Philadelphia's defense is let's look at it right now. Philadelphia's defense is better than Detroit's, and so is Minnesota's.
Yes.
The Packers, I wouldn't say better. They're better at creating turnovers. I would say their defenses are close enough, and Detroit's difference in offense is slightly better than the Packers' offense, and the Packers' defense is slightly better than Detroit's defense. And if that game's going to be played in Detroit, then I'm just going to pick Detroit in that. The Packers are still capable of beating them without a doubt.
We just know Detroit can get into a shootout and win.
Yes.
And we're not 100% sure the Packers, I don't know if their offense can run it that way, because the Packers, as much as I am a homer and want to think that every time they have the ball they can go down the field and score, their offense tends to chunk time off the clock. And that is not a way to win in a shootout.
Yes.
Like, if your defense can't get a stop, you're wasting your own time.
Let's also look at this, again, sticking within the division because those are some of the best teams. But even, honestly, with Philadelphia, too. Fair to say, Packers have the worst skill positions, and they're talented, between Philadelphia, Detroit, and Minnesota. That's a talented group, but Minnesota's got Hawkinson, Jefferson, and Addison, and Aaron Jones. Like, that's a good group.
I would argue that against Detroit, the Packers might have more depth at skill positions, but I think top end gives it to Detroit, even without David Montgomery.
Yeah, but I agree, because Gibbs, Laporta, St. Brown, and who's the? I'm missing one guy.
Khalif Raymond?
No, what's the guy who scored an 80-yard touchdown yesterday? Williams.
Jamison Williams.
Williams. And then also, I mean, who's the guy that's Reynolds scored multiple touchdowns against the Packers?
Josh Reynolds is like on his fourth team.
But I'm saying that, like, again, he still made some plays. But it's an overall positional group. And then Philadelphia, Saquon, Smith, Brown.
It's not even a question with the Eagles. Not even a question.
I mean, again, the Packers, they're not far off. They're very talented. But again, this is also the flip side of having the youngest team. All right, let's go to Don't Quote Me.
We're not saying it's gonna happen.
Let it ride!
But if it does, then we want credit.
Say that again, because that is an amazing take.
I told you all.
If not, well...
Don't quote me, boy, because I ain't said...
Yeah, guys, we want to get out those bold predictions for the Packers game, but we don't want you to necessarily hold them to us. Well, not next Monday, Tuesday, when Jim and Matt are back on the air without me, Riley Yao holding it down here at the Everlight Solar Studio. But we want to get our predictions for this game tonight on Monday Night Football. Jim, why don't you kick us off? What is your Don't Quote Me bold prediction for tonight's Packers-Saints game?
What's this weather all of a sudden? Like, is this going to be happening in the game tonight?
I'm not sure what the weather report is up at Green Bay.
It's snowing outside because initially I thought this was one of those games where they were going to kind of let Jordan Love cook, let him eat. Like, hey, you know what, buddy? Go get your stats. Minnesota, you're going to have a lot of opportunities. The Saints aren't going to do anything with the ball. So I'm going to go the other way. I'm trying to figure out.
It looks like it's supposed to stop snowing in the Fox Valley around 5 p.m.
Okay. Is it bold enough to say that because I think I want to go defensively now. Is it bold enough to say that the Packers allow no touchdowns, less than 10 points, and get 3 turnovers?
That's pretty bold.
Okay.
That is nicely bold.
That's a Jeff Hafley masterclass. Even against the Saints team.
I don't even, is it Spencer Rattler today?
It is the Rattlesnake.
Is he the one that was in the fridge? Did you see the story?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Yeah, so there's a story that he was went into a restaurant. I don't know what cooler he went into, but decided to spend time in the cooler.
They went to the set of The Bear.
It's already so much in his head. Like the fact that this is
well, it's not even just him. It was multiple players on the offense.
It's so in their head.
Play hot potato with a football in there to make sure they can still catch the ball. And
they went into a large industrial-sized cooler and they actually ran plays on air. The Saints head coach,
are
the interim,
rent-free right now.
The Saints head coach, Darren Rizzi, is a very interesting guy. I'll say that. He's very unorthodox.
They're so cooked mentally, plus they're hurt. Like the Packers, and our Packers have a solid defense. Yeah, I feel good about that.
Yeah. All right,
Who's running the football for the Saints?
Who's what?
Who's running the football for the Saints? Isn't it
Kendre Miller is their backup running back. He was the star running back for TCU when they went to the college football playoff.
Is
great.
Hasn't played in 2 years.
Is Williams still on their team?
Jamal Williams is hardly. He actually is their punt returner / kick returner.
Huh.
Screams punt returner.
Yeah. Well, not punt returner, just kick returner. Sorry.
Okay. Right. Interesting. For my bold prediction, I'm gonna say the Packers have a 24-3 lead at halftime. And all the big starters, Jacobs and Love, will get pulled by, let's say, 10 minutes left in the third quarter.
Whoa, okay. That's bold. That's very early to pull.
They get pulled by 10 minutes left in the third quarter?
Yeah. The Packers are going to have a commanding lead by halftime. They're going to give them a series, just like Jason said, in the third quarter. Yank them.
Okay. I mean, I think
and then Matt LaFleur might get nervous and put him back in because that seems to be his move. But I'm just kidding. I'm not going to predict that as well.
They'd have to be up by more than 24-3 though for that to happen. Yes.
So if they score, but in your world though, they get the one possession, they score a touchdown.
But yeah. So by the time they get pulled, we might be at 30-3.
I suppose.
How about this? Packers have a 24-3 lead at halftime. And at some point in the second half, the starters get pulled.
No,
how about before
in the third quarter.
In the third quarter. Okay.
Packers starters get pulled in the third quarter.
Yeah.
All right. I can get
Is
behind
that bold
it.
enough for you?
You were saying key starters or all the starters? Key starters, probably.
I'm going to say at the very least, Jordan Love gets pulled.
Okay, so key starters. We'll throw out key starters. Because if Jordan Love's coming out, I want Josh Jacobs coming out too, to be honest.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah, I think that would only be prudent. All right, but it's also prudent that we hear from the only qualified member of the panel, Molly Brown.
The only qualified member.
Our HR specialist who's let Matt Hamilton take his shirt off while she's not here. Let's hear what Molly Brown's Don't Quote Me prediction is.
don't quote me prediction for today's game against the Saints is the Green Bay Packers will win by 4 touchdowns and Jordan Love will throw for 5 touchdowns. Go Pack, go.
Whoa. That's pretty bold. 5 touchdowns for Jordan Love is a lot of tutties.
I was looking at like 400 today as far as 400 yards, but
total offense or for Jordan Love?
For Jordan Love, but
oh man,
it's going to be cold and the ball will probably be wet and will be snowy regardless. Like
weather aside, he's not going to be in the game long enough.
Exactly.
That could I just felt like every coach still likes to get the quarterback a little stat padding, and so I think the Packers aren't pulling any starters in the fourth quarter. Let Jordan Love just pile up some stats, feel good, get those numbers, be like, that way you can say, I got 4,000 yards again and 30 touchdowns. Like, this is going to be a lot of empty calorie stats for the Packers. They're going to beat the snot out of the Saints, but they're going to be empty calories in the idea of, like, there's not much of a fight put up.
Okay, interesting.
But I backed off on it because I think the weather's enough where LaFleur might skew a little bit more concerned. This was like snowing and getting nasty out there. Now I lean more towards Matt that they will.
Yeah. I mean, the defense, the snow affects the ground, right? And if the defense doesn't have their footing, you can't guarantee that someone doesn't fall a little early and hit a knee, right? Like,
yeah. No, I agree with you 100%.
There is no way that they're going to keep Jordan in any longer than they have to today.
I totally agree. Him and Josh Jacobs, and I think, like you said, Xavier McKinney, those key specialty defensive players too. Mm-hmm. I think you're right. Which is why my don't quote me prediction is that while all of those guys might be getting pulled early in this game, they're all going to eat before they come out. I'm predicting 2 touchdown passes at least for Jordan Love, a touchdown for Josh Jacobs, an interception for Xavier McKinney, and also 2 sacks for Edgerrin Cooper. Well, I think if you had to throw in a 4th key player for the Packers, someone who's going to be big if they're going to go on a deep playoff run, he'd have to be the wild card sort of X-factor guy to put him over the edge, especially for the defense. He brings the juice the same way McKinney does.
Without your addition of the sacks, I was going to say that's not bold enough, but I think it is now.
Yeah, I want all the key players balling out in this one, and those are my 4 key players.
All right, we'll find out tomorrow. Prime won't be here. But we'll find out tomorrow.
Because he knows he's wrong
about
already.
Don't quote me. It was great.
He's already getting out of here because he knows he's wrong.
Well, I mean, literally none of us have ever been actually right.
Well,
I was close.
You were close. Very close.
Mine was just a interim to because Shane Waldron, I had him getting demoted and not fired.
Yeah, it was more of a technicality on yours.
That was a pretty...
Plus, we... hold on, though. We recapped on Tuesday, and he got eliminated on a Wednesday. So, like, at the time,
that one does not. That one does not. That part was not correct.
You're going back and saying, hey, my quote that we're not quoting, but I'm quoting again after we double-checked. Now I'm triple-checking.
I was only wrong because I was still wrong.
Because of time.
No, demoted. And I thought I said he was going to get demoted, and he was fired.
Straight up fired.
Straight up fired. You know what? It's straight up fired that Molly Brown is back. Let's hear.
The zoo.
Hello from the zoo.
Let's hear Molly tell us about Carbon World Health, and we will go pole dancing next.
You've heard Jim Rutledge talk about Carbon World Health for years now, about his experience with semaglutide, their 6-week experience, and all the ways he's changed his body and health. And I'm so excited to get my journey started at their new location in Sun Prairie at the Prairie Lakes Shopping Center. It's more of a med spa vibe there, so they've got the Botox, the injections, M-Sculpt, IV therapy, all the things. Go check them out. Tell them Molly from Jim, Matt, and Molly sent you.
You're listening live from St. John's, Newfoundland. The Newfies love Jim, Matt, and Molly. 100.5 ESPN Madison.
Hey, it's ESPN Wisconsin's Alex Strofe. The holidays are here, and there is no better way to celebrate than with the delicious brandy or whiskey from Door County Distillery. It's the holidays. People are coming over. You're mixing up old fashions. No better way to do it than with the cherry brandy from Door County Distillery, made with local Door County cherries, or the 27-time gold medal award-winning single malt whiskey. No matter if you want your brandy old-fashioned or your whiskey old-fashioned, everybody's pleased with Door County Distillery. DoorCountyDistillery.com.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau.
There's always pressure. You got to find ways to deal with that pressure and handle it as best you can to be the best.
This is your Green and Gold Fix on 100.5 ESPN.
Obviously, there's going to be things that turn up along the way. You got to be able to adjust.
This Green and Gold Fix is driven by Metro Ford.
The Green and Gold take on the New Orleans Saints at Lambeau Field tonight for some primetime football action. And with the win, the Pack can clinch a playoff spot, their second straight under quarterback Jordan Love, and the fifth in the tenure of head coach Matt LaFleur. As for how this roster has gotten there in back-to-back years, LaFleur credits Goody and his scouting staff.
And that's really all you can ask of anybody is just to be your best each and every day. And I think guys that embrace that and come in with the right mindset, the right work ethic will ultimately be the best version of themselves.
Kickoff from Lambeau Field between the Packers and Saints is at 7:15 tonight.
Purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Ford at Metro Ford of Madison on the east side today.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. GRB Academy offers training programs for players of all ages and skill levels. Learn from some of the best baseball coaches in the area and find the program that fits your training goals and your schedule. Spots are filling up fast, so visit grbacademy.com to sign up now. That's grbacademy.com. GRB Academy, baseball for the serious player.
My name is Luke Bryan. Country music is my life, and I want to share it with y'all.
It's All Country is now streaming on Hulu.
And with the help of Luke Combs, Kane Brown, Lady A, Winona Judd, Sheryl Crow, and Mickey Guyton, we're going to explore everything country.
You couldn't ask for anything more than that.
When everybody brings their story, it really becomes something special. That is the beautiful side of country music.
In the end, it's all country.
It's All Country. All episodes now streaming on Hulu.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play. Like Bear Dynasty interior paint, their most durable one-coat hide paint ever. From a team color statement wall to a fan cave, complete with a mural honoring Nick Saban's 17-year dynasty.
Hey, I like that idea.
Nothing beats Bear Dynasty interior paint. It's everything you need all in one can.
Defend your game time with Bear and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Valid only when intended to colors from the Bear Dynasty and Marquee Interior One-Coat Hide Color Collection.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
You got a reaction. You got a reaction, didn't you? You took a one orchid. You took a one orchid and turned it blue.
Jim, Matt, and Molly continues live from the Everlight Solar Studio. We are on early because the Packers play Monday Night Football, which means KBN starts 2 to 4. Then we have Green Bay game day 4 to 7:15 with Alex Strofe, Gabe Knights, and Jared Bush live from the Thunder Trio. And then Tauscher and Homer will take you home after the Packers likely house the Saints. He's Matt Hamilton. I am Jim Rutledge. You can see Matt shirtless on our YouTube page, also at Jim, Matt, and Molly.
Spicy.
And you can listen back to Wisconsin On Demand, Apple, Spotify, and those great places to find out why Matt Hamilton is shirtless. We did ask what's more important tonight, Packers win or avoiding key injuries. I'll check in on that before we get to a Festivus version of Throwing Stones. But the poll question right now is at 54% of you say avoid key injuries. All right, let's go pole dancing.
1, 2, 3,
Some takes are cooler than others.
You know this kid is as cool as the other side of the pillow.
Some opinions are just cooler than the rest.
Now what's cooler than being cool? Ice cold.
And if you keep it chill, then it's a cold take.
Chill out. I'm chill. I'm chill as a cucumber, man.
I'm always the coldest.
This is Throwing Stones, presented by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's chillest Kia dealership.
All right, guys, so since it is the holidays, we have to celebrate not only Christmas and whatever holidays are coming up this next week and a half, but also It's Festivus, guys. Did you guys realize that? I didn't realize that until I saw it.
Festivus for the rest of us.
Festivus for the rest of us, yeah. You guys know the bit.
Do we know the bit?
Do you know the bit?
Yeah,
I'll be
young
honest,
man.
I didn't know it was Festivus until I just started
Do you have a
seeing
Festivus pole at your house?
Not the actual pole, no, I
Is
don't.
the Festivus pole still at the Capitol? They used to put one up at Christmas.
I have no clue.
They put up,
I didn't know they did
big
that.
Christmas tree, and then they had a Festivus pole.
Oh, as they should.
As like the agnostic atheist version
Yeah, it
of
was more of like.
Here's the thing. Who am I wrestling? Who's going to wrestle me shirtless after this? Because that is a key part of Festivus.
Is that how you like settle the Festivus
Yeah, you
grievances?
wrestle. You wrestle.
Okay.
After you air your grievances.
Okay. Well, this is going to be tough. I didn't realize what we were getting into when I threw this out this morning.
Well, if you want to celebrate Festivus with the rest of us, you better be ready to celebrate the whole holiday.
Well, since we want to celebrate Festivus during Throwing Stones today, guys, we're each going to air out a grievance that we have for this holiday season or maybe this Packers season, what have you. And we're going to settle it and decide, am I the bleep hole during Throwing Stones today? So, Jim Rutledge, you said you want to start first. What is your grievance to settle on this Festivus?
Well, one with you. It says pole dancing on here, and you get in my case for the.
I wasn't trying to get on your case. I was trying to help. I made the mistake.
Yeah, you did.
Yes, I did.
I would say this is more of an observation, but I'll throw this. I will gripe about when you go to a place like Medieval Times or others. They make you take these horrendous photos. Like, there's no world. Like, we did this at Dolly World. We do this other places. Like, I'm not buying this. Like, there's no world where I am paying you $40 for a picture that makes all of us look like idiots. You go to, like, different theme park sort of things. But I will give a positive here. The dude at Medieval Times maybe picked up my vibe because we weren't really dressed up for it. He goes, do you want to take the photo? You just want to skip it? Like, we will skip it. But then I came up with the $1 million idea. Do you want to hear it? You buy a ticket to one of these places, you have to take that photo, and unless you pay them, they're posting on their social media and tagging you.
Wow.
Right? That's $1 million idea. Because how many specifically dads are at these things and they're like, I do not want a picture of me with a yellow McDonald's crown type thing on top of my head, standing there looking bored out of my mind. Nobody wants that photo out on the internet. Right? That would be a good idea. That if you were just like, hey, you pay us, we're posting it.
I mean, I'd say have fun, post it. You ain't getting any of my hard-earned
You're more
money.
likely to get my
many
money.
Many more than you already got.
You're more likely to get it from me for that than to have this picture that's never going to see.
So would the business be the bleep hole in that situation?
Yes.
I think they definitely are if they're
Yes.
trying to hold you hostage with these photos.
True. There already are the bleep hole because they make you have to do this.
Did
Then
they
my daughter
force
was
you?
young at me. My daughter was mad at me because I was like, we skipped it. And she's like, I distracted her. We took some other photos and it was fine. But she was mad at me for a minute because I'm like, I don't want to take these photos.
Yeah.
Like, this is stupid. But she did the other photos. I didn't have to be in them. And it worked out great.
Judgmental Jim.
I was judging a lot.
I see.
I had to bite my tongue hard.
I can only imagine
the entire time.
Jim Rutledge at Medieval Times, the level of judginess.
Yeah,
he
here's
feels
my
walking
take on
around.
Medieval Times. My daughters had an amazing time. And I think my wife enjoyed herself too, so it was worth it.
There you go.
But also super expensive and not worth it. So, like, it's somehow both.
All right, Matt Hamilton, what is your grievance for us on this Festivus Throwing Stones?
My grievance is with you two, especially, and a lot of the callers that we've mentioned this to. During the maternity leave of Molly and Matt's maternity leave, you both picked me to be gone more. I have missed 2 shows since Molly Brown has left us.
Take that for data.
What do you want, a medal?
Yeah. I'm
Another
used to,
one?
I like getting them, so I would take one. I just think that is unfairly putting me in a box, and I cannot be boxed. It's just outrageous that you would think that someone who just had kids is still going to make the show more than me, the consummate radio professional.
Now, to be fair, Evan Cohen went with the maternity leave time. I feel very confident in my bet of missing time in 2025. It will be you over Molly Brown.
Oh, no, we got to go to December 1 to December 1. Like, the start of her maternity leave, because I can't just leave an entire month out. I definitely need that month to count later in this situation. I think we can do that. It's not hard, and it still might be close. But at this point, I am crushing Molly. Molly seems like an absent HR person right now.
Well, she was here today. She sent in the video for Don't Quote Me. That counts as attendance.
Oh, my God. Okay. If that counts as attendance, then me calling in for a segment when I'm on the road also has to
You were
count.
on the road last week. You didn't call on Thursday or Friday.
Either day.
I was busy, and
Hurt our
honestly,
feelings.
I thought those days I could just throw away. But there's going to be somewhere I'm going to have like a week off because, curling national championships. I'm going to at least call in for a couple segments. I want those counted as full days.
Of note from ESPN Bet, the Saints are 3-14 against the spread in primetime games over the last 5 seasons.
Yeah, but
14
when the spread
points
is
and a half.
when the spread is this big, I think it's such an outlier. You shouldn't even take in historical context.
The hook kind of scares me, but being reminded that Kamara's not going to be there, Carr's not going to be there, and also Olave, I think I would take
also,
the Packers.
MVS, who's now their best receiver, by the way,
Yeah.
Marquez Valdez-Scantling, questionable.
Yeah, I still like the Packers in that.
Yeah, you better.
Yeah.
You better.
And I also like Matt to win the Molly maternity leave line as well.
All right, guys, my grievance is that I have to get out. It out with the NFL schedule makers. Guys, I understand everyone loves football, whether it's the holidays, whether it's a regular weekend or what have you. Why'd they have to put the Packers on Monday, the Monday of Christmas?
Yeah,
Just
we're working
mess-
today and tomorrow because
Yes, exactly. Now, I'm taking the day off because I'm using up the PTO that I've had saved up all year just for the holidays.
Oh, I've been trying to save PTO, but no one
Yeah.
ever gives me
Can I
any.
give you PTO?
Precious. I would love some.
Oh,
Can you
that's a
transferring credits?
I just don't come in the days I'm not going to come in.
Yes,
That
is
should
true.
be
So I can't give
legit.
you?
You
and
should
Jesse.
be able to give someone PTO of equal or lesser value. So, like, if your
I'm liking
time,
this.
you know what I mean? Like, if Ryan's not making as much as you, it still saves the company money.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
instead
don't-
of you using it, because so many people, if you don't use it, you lose it. We all know that's the case,
Yeah.
especially in PTO. I think that you should be able to share it if you're not going to use it.
The thing, my day job is I don't get paid really for it anyways.
Oh, so maybe you
Yeah.
could share with Ryan.
Yeah, you're not like on a clock or anything necessarily.
And nobody has to replace me. I'm irreplaceable.
Wow.
I mean, I am. Nobody's doing that job when I'm out
That's true.
for me.
Yeah, well, I'm having to do everyone's job today because I'll be here until 7 p.m. getting us ready for the Green Bay Packers game against the Saints. So it is impacting my holiday schedule a little bit, but
Where's
we're
Jesse?
overcoming. Jesse's up in Green Bay, the Tundra Trio today.
Why?
Because I guess Willie and Tosh needed the emotional support producer. I'm not sure.
Sounds sus.
That is to me. I agree.
Wait, I'm sorry. Don't you have another stone?
Another stone.
Did Matt Hamilton almost kill you today?
Yeah, he did. That's true. He threw a bag of almonds at me, which was not cool.
And it go on because otherwise it sounds it does not make any
Yeah,
sense.
Yeah, well,
sounds
it's
pretty benign right now.
It's one of Matt's many HR violations today. First, after giving me this nice hand-me-down hat from
That
his...
he you didn't know, soaked in nuts.
Yeah, soaked in nuts. Wore it
Yeah.
twice as well, on the hair that he doesn't wash. But no, we were in the studio. Jim walked in with a bag of, I think, like roasted almonds with like Frank's Red Hot
Yep.
Yeah.
seasoning.
Yep.
He's like, hey guys, I can't finish these. You want any of them? So first of all, Jim, also forgetting that I'm allergic to tree nuts. Thank you very much.
Sure.
And then not only
I
that,
don't
but
have a tracker. That should be an app that exists.
a tracker?
Like people tell me like what people are allergic to.
yeah.
That's not your job. Anyway, you shouldn't have to worry about that. But then Matt Hamilton, being the thoughtful friend that he is, not only eats some of these out of the bag, but then goes, oh, hey, Ryan, you want to eat some? Throws them across the table to me and just goes, there you go. Bag open, by the way.
Yeah.
Didn't seal it.
Poof of nuts in the air.
Yeah.
Could have killed Brian.
You know, I
You're
did
giving
know
mouth
that.
to mouth.
I'm
We're on
the
actually-
holidays,
your
too.
And
nuts-
I'm conscious of it because I've gotten like snacks and like gifts from the road.
Oh, you and your snacks, Jesus.
I tried to.
This guy had snacks. You almost
snack king.
gave away the company off your snack email,
Well,
and then
okay.
you almost killed Ryan with your nut bag.
I know, but I'm
Sack of
considerate.
nuts.
I'm very considerate of Ryan's fear of nuts.
Fear?
Well,
Justified.
yeah, you're afraid that they could kill you.
Afraid that they could kill me.
Yeah, exactly. It's just
It's a phobia.
It
It's like a
doesn't
phobia.
matter whether it's like
Like,
an allergy or not, like you have a fear of nuts. It's fair to say. And I forgot that. And as I was eating said nuts, Ryan was like staring at me, and I was like, oh, he must want some. So that's why I offered him.
I'm just saying that when you toss your nuts across the table and the nuts poof into the air, if that made Ryan choke and get sick off of your nut poof, then you're the one that has to give him mouth-to-mouth resuscitation because he's allergic to nuts.
It's not how it works.
I probably wouldn't do that, and I would just run the board for him.
Just watch him.
You'd swap out with me for the day?
Yeah.
Wait, what happens then? You said that's not how it works?
His throat closes up. You can't give someone mouth-to-mouth resuscitation if their throat's
Yeah, that would be like
closed.
trying to blow into a balloon that's already like been
Fine.
tied.
You're going to have to get the
I'll take this pen
X-Acto
and
knife and
stab you right in the neck.
I'll slice open my throat to get some air in there.
and then breathe into that.
That's how it works, yeah.
Yeah. Just breathe right into his throat then.
I'm sure he's got an EpiPen somewhere here at the office.
I do.
Should we
Perfect,
be made
see?
aware of where that is in case Matt and Jamie's are helping it?
He at least could like mime to where it is. Well, at least we can make a game out of it.
I'll still be able to speak.
Social media.
Kind of.
Ooh,
if your
next time,
throat's
Brian.
closed, it's hard to speak. If air's not coming out, you might have to
You want
Mr.
to talk
Mime
about
it.
a
And
social
then
media video that would slap and get
I
a lot
am-
of...
I don't think that would get some views on the wrong end of Blue Sky, Twitter, whatever social
Okay,
media
well, if it's on
platform.
Twitter, it'll do
talking
really well.
about?
Blue
It
Sky
is-
probably will.
It is one of the biggest game of charades you could possibly play. It's the biggest charades.
Life or death.
Life or death.
Some stakes. More than the Packers have, honestly, anymore.
You can
at least
handle
in this
steaks. You
game.
can't handle nuts. All right. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. Go be a winner. Go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. That's where winners go. Millions of dollars won each weekend at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Go be a winner. We'll wrap the show up next.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Unwrap exceptional offers during the Season of Audi sales event. Get financing as low as 1.9% APR on select new 2024 Audi models. Save $7,500 on select Audi EVs with the AFS EV lease bonus and an additional $1,500 with the Season of Audi customer credit. Offer subject to credit approval through Audi Financial Services. See dealer for details. Offer ends January 2nd. You'll find an excellent selection of new and certified pre-owned Audis at Audi Madison. Check out AudiMadison.com or stop in and test drive at Audi Madison today. Off the Beltline and Rimrock Road.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
It's a new era for Wisconsin football fans.
I want the offense to look like it knows what it's doing. It doesn't look like someone just picked up the controllers and was learning a playbook while they're trying to play the game.
Taking the conversation digital with the Jump Around 3.0.
At this point, the Badgers are metaphorically in football. They're trying to learn to crawl before they can walk and then running it offensively.
The Jump Around with Jim Rutledge, outfitted by Iron Jock Apparel. Streaming live every Thursday at 12:30 on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's original craft vodka. In 1995, Tito Beveridge built his very own distillery and put his life savings into it. Since then, he's won the unanimous Judge's Choice Double Gold Medal at the World Spirits Competition, the Chairman's Trophy for World's Best Vodka Tonic, and many others. Tito's Handmade Vodka is still made on the same land where he started it, all in Austin, Texas. Distilled from corn and gluten-free. Visit us at titosvodka.com for recipes, videos, and more. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Well, I got a new stone to throw at Matt Hamilton. We got like 58 seconds now. And he ran out of the Everlight Solar Studio. He's Matt Hamilton. I am Jim Rutledge.
Hello.
We are taking you up to KBN, and then KBN takes you up until Green Bay game day, 4 until 7:15. Alex Strofe, Gabe Neitzel, Jared Bush, live from the Tundra Trio. Then, after the game, you'll be joined by Tauscher and Homer. Make sure to protect your home or business. Homer business with J&K Security Solutions, locally owned, family owned, veteran owned. Support the team at J&K Security Solutions. We'll be back at it tomorrow. You missed it in today's show. Listen back, Wisconsin On Demand, Apple, Spotify, any of those great places. Ryan, we'll miss you. So early Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Yeah.
It's been Jim, Matt, and Molly. Presented by Coors Light.
Go Pack, go! See ya!
There's a good chance if you watch sports, you're getting served information about hormone optimization. What does that even mean? Dr. Nestor Rodriguez at Carbon World Health can tell you exactly what hormone optimization means. He will take your blood work and let you know if it's right for you. If you're feeling sluggish, not losing weight like you used to, you're not gaining muscle like you used to, or you just don't feel like yourself in most aspects of your life, go see